People did things in the 70s that we can never do today because they've been banned. Kids could ride long hours on their bikes unsupervised and even help their parents buy cigarettes. Let's remember that seatbelts were a suggestion, not a rule. If you did this today, you would be arrested and jailed for a long time. So strap your seatbelts, because it's compulsory now, as we recall some hilarious things that were normal in the 1970s. Number 10. Trans fat. Food in the 1970s were rich in trans fat because it was a magic ingredient everyone loved. Manufacturers used it to cut production costs, and consumers loved it because it helped their food last longer. But then researchers started noticing something fishy about this wonder oil. It turns out that they were linked to diabetes, strokes, heart disease, and even cancer. Activists like Phil Sokoloff went all out to pay for full-page ads in major newspapers. He blasted restaurant giants like McDonald's for using beef fat in their fries. He urged them to switch to vegetable oils instead. And guess what? Over time, these fast food giants listened. By 1994, trans fat caused 20,000 deaths annually in the US. These scary statistics led to food labels listing trans fat so that people knew what they were eating. Fast forward to today, countries like Denmark, Saudi Arabia, Thailand, Lithuania, and Poland have banned trans fat. You thought that was all? Wait till you see some questionable shows from the 70s. Number 9. Questionable TV shows. The 70s game shows were unapologetically offensive by today's standards, but then viewers couldn't get enough of them. If you're a 70s kid, you probably heard of the black and white Minstrel show. Despite its questionable content, the show aired for an astonishing 20 years. That is, from 1958 to 1978. This weekly entertainment series featured traditional American minstrel and country songs and show tunes performed by singers in full blackface. The minstrel tradition dates back to the 19th century when white performers boot polished their faces to mock black people. This trend was so popular that the BBC launched a TV show to celebrate it. What a time to be alive! By the mid-70s, this show earned around 21 million viewers. For context, this is 4 times what The X Factor gets today. In 1969, the BBC wondered if this blackface thing was racist, so they replaced the show with a spin-off Music, Music, Music. Sadly, no one watched it. Viewers wanted their minstrel show back on their screens. This casual racism would not fly today. Blacks would take to the street until this TV show is officially banned. Number 8. Playing on train tracks. In the 70s, playing on train tracks was another outdoor fun, but today no one would dream of it. Just weeks ago in Northern Virginia, a train struck a child and 2 adults on a railroad bridge. The 3 were walking on the elevated railroad track when the accident happened. Although it is dangerous to walk on train tracks, 70s kids did not see the danger. It was common to see people trespass. It wasn't until 2011 that the US banned walking on train tracks. Mind you, walking too close to the train tracks could get you in trouble. You need to be at least 25 feet away to be considered safe. Like walking on train tracks, it is also illegal to take photos around it because you might not hear the train coming. Number 7. Toy guns. Next is another blast from the past. Between the 1940s and the 1980s, toy makers competed to create the most realistic looking weapons. Manufacturers sold nearly 20 million units of guns yearly. Advocates say that these make-believe weapons made kids more confident, but today no toy company would dare advertise guns. Why? Years ago, a 12-year-old Cleveland boy was killed by a policeman who thought that his toy gun was real. And in 1987, a mentally disturbed man held a toy gun to a reporter's head and made him read a statement warning about space creatures. These shocking incidents led to the unsurprising ban on toy guns in America. Speaking of things that would never fly today, let's talk about safety. Number 6. Wearing a seatbelt was optional. For those who never wear a seatbelt, you were definitely born in the wrong era. Back then, cars didn't come with seatbelts, and nobody cared. Today, you could pay up to $500 in fines if caught without one, but you'd be free if you hopped on a time machine to the 70s. Aside from not wearing a seatbelt, a father could drive with his child on his lap. Kids felt like they were driving while their dads did the actual work. Nowadays, if you tried this, you'd face up to 2 years in jail. Plus, Child Protective Services would take your child and you would lose your driver's license forever. Ironically, there were very few reports of kids getting hurt while driving on their dad's lap. Not that this is safe, but it made for some fun memories and father-child bonding moments. This tradition lasted until the government decided that it was time for stricter safety rules. Number 5. Corporal punishment in schools was acceptable. More than 90% of American schools today do not use corporal punishment. Back then, children were spanked, kicked, or paddled for misbehaving. These punishments were acceptable forms of discipline. Nowadays, they're seen as child abuse. Activists argue that parents and teachers seize this opportunity to abuse children. Countless cases of spankings went horribly wrong. But 70s kids, they endured a fair share of spanking and still grew up as responsible, law-abiding adults. These punishments were not an everyday thing. It was done enough to make the child rethink their actions. It started with a mother threatening to tell the father, and the father executed the punishment. The only twist was that the children were asked to choose between a whip and a belt. Did your parents do that to you too? Which one did you pick? Number 4. Casual bum pinch. You already know the drill if you're a baby boomer or Gen X kid. You could be walking along a crowded street, and suddenly someone pinches your butt. You turn around expecting to see a friend, but nope, it's a stranger. He's even walking away in the opposite direction and laughing. You're embarrassed but can't do much about this. This was called a casual bum pinch. Male colleagues could pinch a female coworker's bum or comment on her sexual prowess without anyone batting an eye. These were all dismissed as harmless flirtation, but today we now recognize it for what it is: sexual harassment. This carries severe consequences at the state and federal levels. Speaking of consequences, this next entry could get you in trouble with the law. Number 3. Kids roamed around unsupervised. In the 70s, kids roamed free like the world was their playground. They rode their bikes for hours unsupervised until the streetlights came on. There was only one rule: they must finish their homework before heading out. Parents were at ease knowing that their kids were having fun with friends. One kid would run home to alert the parents if something went wrong. If you give your children this freedom today, you will join that Florida mom jailed for 5 years for allowing her 7-year-old child to play at a park unattended. The Child Protective Services could take your child away permanently. It feels like childhood has lost some of its magic and creative space compared to the good old days. Number 2. Children bought cigarettes for their parents. Before the world understood the health risks of smoking, it was not a big deal in the 1970s. Because of that, children played around with candy cigarettes, pretending to be adults. Thankfully, the FDA banned it in 2009 after they realized it encouraged child smoking. But hold on, that wasn't all. Parents sent their kids to buy cigarettes for them to save time. They would drop the child off at the door of a convenience store and circle around the parking lot. By the time they were done, the child was outside with it. It was faster than parking and walking in. Sometimes there wasn't even a parking spot, so they loitered around. The clerk would sell to the children knowing the parents were waiting outside. It was perfectly normal, but things changed. Since December 2019, the legal smoking age in all states and territories is 21. Selling cigarettes to minors is now a serious crime. Number 1. Heavy drinking was a culture. While alcohol is a favorite pastime for American adults, the 70s took it to another level. After the alcohol prohibition law was repealed in 1934, per capita consumption was under 1 gallon. But then, America suffered a heavy drinking spell in the 1970s and 1980s when per-person alcohol consumption grew to 2.75 gallons. More than half of the alcohol consumed in the US was during binge drinking episodes. Unknown to them, excessive alcohol is associated with chronic illnesses like liver cancer, stroke, heart disease, and high blood pressure. Pregnant women face the risk of stillbirth, miscarriage, or birth defects. To stay on the safe side, it is recommended that men should only drink a maximum of 14 drinks per week, and women just 7. When people are too intoxicated, they can be reckless and dangerous, which then can land them in jail. The difference between the 70s and today is vast. Can you remember something you could do back then that is banned today? Share those moments in the comments below.